I know you guys have talked about the Michigan sign stealing Connor Stallions thing here a bit. I know Rich is a Michigan man. I'm not saying anything now or about to say anything now that I would not say if he were here. I'm not going to take unnecessary pot shots at Michigan. I guess that is my disclaimer before I give you the latest news.
I mean, you could.
Trying to get Pete Thamel, I could, but I won't. I'm not one of these anti-Michigan fail to the victors people. I'm not one of those people. However, there is new news. I was trying to get Pete Thamel on, friend of the program today. New news. Trying to get Pete Thamel on today, but he is on his way to Alabama. But here's his story on the ESPN.com today, and I read from it. A vast majority of the Big Ten coaches expressed frustrations with the ongoing signal stealing investigation in Michigan in a video call. How many cameras were actually turned on? With Commissioner Tony Petitti Wednesday, sources say to ESPN. The call, I'm going to paraphrase here, was a 90-minute call, 30 minutes with Jim Harbaugh, where they did the normal Big Ten business that you would do, the coaches on a conference call with the commissioner. And then Harbaugh got off the call so that they could talk about Michigan freely. According to 5 sources familiar with the call, according to Pete Thamel, a chorus of voices encouraged Petitti to take action. The call described as intense and emotional. Quote, collectively, the coaches want the Big Ten to act right now. What are we waiting on? Somebody said, we know what happened. The Big Ten has a call scheduled with the athletic directors for today. The NCAA has been investigating, the Connor Stallions thing, stealing signals, whatever. More and more stuff is coming out. The coaches, Thamel says, laid out to Petitti, who was hired in April, just how distinct of an schematic advantage Michigan has held the last 3 years by illegally obtaining the opposition signals ahead of time, as has been alleged. Coaches use the words like tainted, fraudulent, and unprecedented to describe Michigan's signal stealing scheme on this call. Much of the call, according to sources, was coaches explaining to Petitti both how it worked and how it impacted them and their programs. As you may or may not know, both in-person opponent scouting and using electronic equipment to steal signals is not allowed by the NCAA. According to one source to Thamel, people don't understand the seriousness of it, how it truly impacted the game plan. To truly know if it's run or pass, people just don't get how much of an advantage that was for Michigan. One coach on the call, I take it back. Let me read this the right way. There was anger interspersed throughout the call, according to Thamel, as one source described the sentiment as, quote, every game they play is tainted. Sources describe Petitti as listening carefully to the coaches, but not tipping his hand in what direction he may go. Sources express curiosity as to whether or not the Big Ten is truly interested in taking action or just listening, so coaches feel that they are being heard. I don't think the Big Ten understood how upset everyone was, said another source. The tenor of the call was asking the Big Ten to show leadership. The conference and the presidents. Unprecedented violation, they say. Now, the Reddit detectives, the Twitter detectives.
These guys are amazing. Whoever
are
they
amazing.
Are. Incredible.
I also know as a reporter here, and as somebody who deals in breaking news quite often, when you're on the air and you're dealing with Twitter or you're dealing with people texting you things that they saw, so much of it turns out to be wrong. That said, there seems to be evidence now that a younger-looking, clean-shaven Connor Stallions was on the Michigan sideline as early as 2018, standing behind Jim Harbaugh and coordinators. He wasn't hired until 2021 or 2, whatever it was, recently. He was in our armed services stationed in California and has said on his LinkedIn page that he would fly back and forth on his own dime. Okay, but there he is on the sidelines in 2018. 18. Now, is it plausible that he might have been the really sharp kid who, hey, I like this kid. Let's bring him in. You know what? He's got a good eye for things. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. There is, and I'm going to defend Connor Stallions here. There is nothing wrong for having someone on your sideline that's really good at looking across the field and picking up on stuff. Every team has that. Every team has that really sharp kid in the building who's able to look at tape and figure stuff out. Mm-hmm. Right? These games are all on TV. Every team has that. There's always that guy. The coaching intern, the analytics intern, the equipment kid who's really good at that. Hey, you know what? Let's make sure he's down there. You see something? Okay. There is nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing. Every team does it. Every team's got an edge. You know what? And a lot of teams have edges that they don't even know, or tells rather, right? You watch a game, and we're fortunate enough to do this with former players. They sit there going, hey, that tackle's back in his stance. It's a pass, right? He's up in his stance. It's a run, right? I could see, by the way that wide receiver is lined up, what this is going to be, right? We're lucky. We get to sit with former players. They call stuff out all day long.
Yep. That's why Tony Romo's Tony Romo.
All day long. Exactly.
Tony.
And it's a blast, and we're lucky to have that window, by the way.
Cool.
It's awesome. One of the best parts about my job, hands down. That's one thing. It's another thing to have this guy fly all over the country and tape stuff and come back and do it illegally. That is cheating. Period. End of conversation. And don't come at me, Michigan fan, by saying, you guys are just bitter. All the coaches are bitter. It's more than that. Oh, yeah, maybe they just don't like Harbaugh, right? Maybe some of it's karma. Come around, right? You don't like the way you get treated? All right, we're going to come back at you. But I already got stuff on Twitter. Pete Thamel, Ohio State hack. No, he's not, dude. He went to Syracuse.
Yep.
Went to Syracuse.
Sure did.
All right.
People in the comments know everything, guys.
Bleeds orange. Okay. Not scarlet and gray, buddy.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.